Hello everyone, Ryan here. War on Everyone. War on Everyone stars Michael Pena and Alexander Skarsgård. And they both play these crooked cops who frame and blackmail criminals all over town. And they ultimately try to find this big payoff. So then they start... or rather, they try to extort a strip club manager and his eccentric junkie boss. But then they end up getting more than they bargained for. They uncover a much darker secret. Now, of course, there are a lot of moments in this movie that did make me laugh out loud, because this is a comedy, but I guess I would say it's more of a dark comedy. It's definitely not your typical buddy cop movie. I mean, it is and it isn't. There are familiar elements from just about every other buddy cop movie that's ever been made. But with the exception of, I guess I would say, the story itself, even though, I mean, it is definitely a very well-written story. And Michael Pena and Alexander Skarsgård, they do give really interesting performances. Though I will say there were certain moments where, to me, it just felt like they weren't really able to pull it off. Like, they weren't able to come across as... They weren't able... there were scenes when they weren't able to really convince me that they were these two crooked cops. I will say I found Alexander Skarsgård to be much more believable as a crooked cop than Michael Pena, because Michael Pena, I mean, I've seen him in so many other movies, dramatic roles, a few other slightly comedic roles, but a lot more dramatic roles. And I gotta say, I definitely prefer Michael Pena in dramatic roles rather than anything overly comedic. I would say that's one reason why I've yet to see him in that what looks to be like a terrible remake of Chips, and I've heard nothing but bad stuff about that. I guess overall I would give this movie a rating of, I want to say 7.5 at the most, at the bare minimum, but 8 at the maximum. So 8 out of 10 tamales, definitely. There are some interesting action sequences, but it's not really like over the top kind of action. I also like that a lot of the jokes throughout this seem to be slightly smarter than your average buddy cop movie. Of course, that's not to say that there aren't some stupid jokes in this as well, but for me, mostly, it seems like this movie has a nice balance between smart jokes and stupid jokes. And I don't think I've never really come across a movie that was able to pull that off. And ultimately, I feel like maybe if they had cast some other actors in these roles, this movie would probably be much more well known, or at least much more critically acclaimed, much more hailed by the critics. But yeah, I mean, ultimately it is a decent movie. If you want to watch a buddy cop movie that is not too much like the typical buddy cop movie, then I do recommend watching this. The ending is also pretty good. Wraps up everything nicely, but I still felt like they could have gone another direction with it, but ultimately it was okay. So yeah, definitely 8 out of 10 tamales for War on Everyone, and that'll do it for this movie review. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until next time, remember, keep it real, keep on rocking, and peace.